Hi everybody, this is Steph from Lazy Bones Jones, and today I want to talk to you about your embroidery stitch guide. So on each of these embroidery stitch guides that you receive in your kit, you have the example on the front, and then on the back you're going to have your guide. So this guide is broken down into colors, and the colors are representational of the stitches that I recommend that you use in that area. So if you can see, this is the back stitch. It's in pink, so I recommend that you do the back stitch on all these areas. This is the French knot. It's in green. I recommend you use a French knot here. This is a running stitch. It's purple. I recommend you use that right here to do these little freckles. So other stitches, including the chain stitch, the lazy daisy, and the star stitch, are not in this pattern, but they obviously you can do them anywhere you'd like. We're going to go over the stitches on the stitch guide today so that you know how to do them. So I have my piece of fabric. I have my 5-inch hoop with me today. This one has the gold key. And if you don't know about different types of embroidery hoops, you can reference the video on IGTV. So I'm going to get this set up. You guys have seen me do this already in previous videos, but I just want to walk through it with you. So I'm tightening this down. Then I'm going to pull all this slack out. Pulling all this slack out. And remember, once you pull the slack out, you should be able to tap on this, and it should make a sound like a drum. The design is going to be on the top, not on the back, so it's easier if your design is on the top. So if I'm looking at my stitch guide, we're going to do this stitch first. I did talk about this in previous videos, but there's actually 3 different ways that you can do a back stitch. There's the simple way, which is great for kids. There is a way that you can do it that's really great for curves, and then there's kind of an advanced way, which is the way that I do it, and it makes kind of a beautiful braid as you move forward in your design. So I'm going to get my pink thread that I have available here, and I'm going to get my needle. And we're just going to thread our needle. And we've talked about this before. You're going to wiggle that thread through that hole, get a hold of it with your fingers, pull down about 1.5 inches, and then you're going to sew through the thread itself. And we're going to hold the tip of the needle, the sharp part, pull down with this tail, pull straight down. Then you're going to hold on to the long tail, and you're going to pull it straight down, and then that's going to secure that. Now we're going to go to the other side. We're making our U shape. See this U shape? I pinch these 2 ends. I take my finger, go into the hole, twist 1, 2, 3 times. Then I pinch this part that's all twisted up. I pinch this and then take this tail and you're going to pop it through that hole. And then you're going to scoot that knot down towards the end. You want that to be down towards the end. Now I take my scissors and I snip the tail. Put my scissors up here. Okay, so back stitch way 1, up from the bottom, which we talked about this in previous videos, down from the top. Now you're going to go back up from the bottom, and I'm going to go back. See where my line is here? I'm going to go back to fill that gap. Now I'm coming back up from the bottom to make a gap. See this small gap I'm making? You don't want it to get too out of hand. Don't make it any bigger than this. So I'm going to go back up from the bottom, and now I'm going to go down from the top where this stitch is, if you can see where this stitch is. So I'm going back down, up, and back down, filling that gap. So that's all I'm going to do. Up and back down to fill that gap. Now, if you can remember, you're tying off knot from the back. So I'm on the back. I'm going underneath. See, that's a really good view of that. You're going to go underneath those stitches on the back. Don't pull all the way through. See this loop here? You're going to go through the loop and then pull that tight. And then you're going to do that one more time. I went too far. Do that one more time. Now, you can go under and then through the loop twice. 1, 2, and then you don't have to do it twice. You just have to go through the loop twice. So whatever you prefer. Sometimes I do it so one way, sometimes I'll do it a different way. Okay, so that is back stitch type 1. Now, let's talk about back stitch type 2. So I'm gonna make a knot at the end of my thread. I do mine a little differently. My mom taught me when I was little to roll it off my finger, but I have found that the U method works really great for beginners. So I'm gonna go up from the bottom again, down from the top, back up from the bottom. This is seeming familiar, I'm hoping. Now, this is the one we talked about in the previous video. You're going to go through the center. See how I'm going through the middle of that thread? This is the one that's really great for curves. It also looks like a very small chain stitch. So I'm going through the thread. Up. Through the thread. Again. Up from the bottom and back through the middle of that thread. So see, can you see the difference in the stitch itself? It has different characteristics, right? This stitch looks more like a perforated line, and this stitch looks a little bit more braided, but they're both technically back stitch. So now I'm going to go to my back, tie off with my tie off knot. I'm going to do a double loop there, tighten that down, snip. Okay, so now third type, up from the bottom, down from the top, up from the bottom. Now, instead of going through, you're going to scoot this guy over and go halfway down from the top into the fabric, not into the thread. This is the one I use the most because I really love the way it looks. You're always going to want to go down on the same side. That's the key to making this stitch really pretty, is always, so if you're going in on the left, you always go in on the left. Down from the top. Up from the bottom. Down from the top, halfway. So now we can see this third stitch. And see how it's more twisted. And I really love this stitch. This is the back stitch I use the most. When you look at my patterns, you'll see this a lot. You'll see this on curves, and I don't do this one very much. This is very much a stitch for kids because it's not difficult to explain at all. And it's also really, really great for beginners because it's very simple to understand. But these stitches have more finesse. So if you're, kind of definitely know what you're doing, you've started out, I would recommend giving these two a try. So I'm going to tie this off, and then we're going to talk about the running stitch next, which is the most basic stitch. To see the next video in our Stitch Guide series, please see us at LaZzy Bones Jones on our IGTV channel or our brand new YouTube channel at LaZzy Bones Jones. And remember, stay calm, stay safe, and stitch on.